Hey everyone, it's Caitlin and welcome to another video. In this video, I am going to show you a really easy roasted red pepper pasta recipe, but roasted red peppers are actually really easy for you to make at home yourself. And I've done it for a while, but I've never really shown you guys in full detail. I actually think I may have had like a really old video, but it's probably not very good quality. So I'm gonna show you how to do that too. So first I'm gonna show you how to make roasted red peppers. It's a lot easier than you think, and it's also a lot more affordable than getting a jar of them from the store. I'm gonna show you how to make that, and then we're going to blend those up with a few other simple ingredients and make a sauce for our roasted red pepper pasta. So let's get into it. So first up, before I show you how to make this super easy pasta, I'm going to show you how to make roasted red peppers. This recipe is also really super easy, and you only need one ingredient. Can you guess what it is? Red peppers. So you're going to need about 3 bell peppers for this. If you want to make this quantity of peppers, you can really use any that you'd like. And to start, we're just going to cut our peppers sort of like in avocados. As you can see, I sliced the pepper all the way around, and now I'm twisting the pepper away. So this is going to completely remove the pepper from the core, and that way you won't have any leftover vegetable scraps, and you can just use your hands to remove the excess white parts. You're going to repeat this for all of your remaining peppers and then place them on a tray. You want the cut side face down. You don't need to spray it or line it or anything. They won't stick, I promise. And then now you're just going to broil your peppers in the oven. And this can take anywhere between 15 and 25 minutes. It really just depends on the strength of your oven and if you had it on previously. But when they come out of the broiler, you want them to look like this. So you want the skins to look as black as possible, and they'll sort of puff up and peel away from the pepper itself. So that's what we're looking for here. The darker it gets, the more flavor it gets. So really go for maximum blackness. And as you can see, the peppers are still nice and hot. So you're just going to use tongs or another kitchen device that enables you to do the same thing to take the peppers and put them in a sealable bag. I'm using a reusable one because I try to reduce my waste, but a regular Ziploc will work. You could also fill a bowl and cover it with plastic wrap. But what you're going to do is let the peppers sit in here for about 7 to 10 minutes, and this allows them to steam and soften a little bit further, which makes the next step a lot easier. And that is removing the skins from our peppers. So you're going to just dump all the peppers out onto the same cutting board or different one, whatever, that you used previously. And as you can see, they're still pretty hot, but at this point they should be cool enough where you can touch them with your hands, and you're going to remove the skins. So I recommend using a spoon to start. It helps to sort of crack that black skin, but honestly the skin is pretty tender by this point as long as you roasted your peppers for long enough, and you can use your hands. As you can see here, it just sort of peels off, and you can eat the skin, but I wouldn't really recommend it. It doesn't have the best texture, and also the black part of the skin does have a sort of burnt flavor to it, though as you can see, the peppers underneath still have some black marks on them as well, but that is totally okay. That just adds depth of flavor. You don't have to worry about that. So after you have de-skinned all of your peppers, we're just going to slice them up. You can keep them whole if you want, but I find that slicing them into strips works best for me because that's how I typically use them. And if I need them sliced anymore, I can just dice them further before I use them for a recipe. And then to store our peppers, we're just going to pack them into a jar. They're really soft and silky and tender, but they're not soft enough where they're just going to turn to mush. So you can really just pack them into a jar as tightly as you like, or use them immediately for pasta. But you will probably have leftovers depending on how many bell peppers you use. So they'll last in a mason jar or whatever jar you want to store them in the fridge for about 10 days. So I imagine if you canned them like properly, they could last longer. And I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a close-up here so you can see how silky these peppers are. I think they taste so good, like even better than store-bought, because often those have preservatives and you just really get the flavor of roasted peppers, which is ideally what we're going for. So now I'm going to show you how to make an easy pasta sauce using red peppers. One of you requested a pasta sauce for me that was red, that didn't use tomatoes, and I thought this would be the perfect recipe. So we're going to take some roasted red peppers, put them in a blender with 2 cloves of garlic and some full fat coconut milk. This is going to make our sauce nice and creamy. Then we're also going to add some vegetable broth to help thin the sauce out a little bit more and add some more flavor. And then here I'm adding some chili flakes just for a little spice. You can leave them out if you'd like to. And we're going to blend this up. I do want to say you could add a pinch of salt if you want. I did end up adding some later, and I also salted my pasta water, so it does make a difference. I would recommend adding a little bit of salt. But this is what the sauce will look like once it's done blending, nice and silky and smooth. So now we are going to go ahead and cook our pasta. I assume that you know how to do that. Just read the instructions on the package container. I would actually suggest bringing some salted water to a boil before you start to prep the ingredients for your sauce. So then that way you can just cook the pasta probably while you're blending it. And then when it's done, we're going to drain it. And then we're going to return the same pot to the stove and add our sauce into the pot before we add the pasta. So we added a raw garlic clove to the sauce, and the sauce is a tiny bit on the thinner side. So what we're going to do is bring the sauce to a simmer, and this cooks out the taste of raw garlic, which some people don't like, and it also helps to thicken the sauce because some of the liquid is coming off through steam. So you just want to simmer it for a few minutes, and then once it's thickened to your liking, you can go ahead and add pasta. If you want to, you could also toss some other roasted vegetables in here, like some roasted cauliflower or spinach. Really is up to you. I just kept it simple for this video. You're just going to toss it, and over time the pasta will absorb all of the sauce and get nice and coated in that yummy red peppery goodness. So at this point, you are pretty much good to go. So you can go ahead and serve it up on a plate, in a bowl. A cup would be untraditional, but you can go there if you want to. And this pasta is, again, good on its own, but you can also add a little extra bit of flavor if you want to top it with some freshly ground black pepper or maybe some nutritional yeast or vegan cheese. Here I'm adding red chili flakes for a little bit of spice, and I also decided to top it with a fresh basil leaf. Obviously, if you were eating this, you'd probably want to chop the basil up and then mix it in with the noodles. The basil does really go well with the red peppers, but that is it for this easy peasy recipe. I wouldn't recommend cooking pasta in advance, but you could also totally make the sauce ahead in advance for a quick dinner too. All right, guys, and there you have it. I hope you enjoy this tomato-free red sauce recipe. Honestly, I wanted to keep things really simple, and recently I've been really inspired by trying to just highlight whole food ingredients and let the flavor profile of them shine without a ton of other, I guess, supporting materials. And I really like roasted red peppers because they have this really incredibly silky smooth texture that blends up really well, even if you don't have a high-speed blender. And they have a really nice flavor because they're sweet from the bell pepper, but then you also get that smokiness because you broil them and they get roasted. And then they just have this like almost cheesy, but not really cheesy. Like a lot of people will use roasted red peppers in vegan nacho cheese recipes. It's just this like full mouth, full-bodied flavor. Sorry, I talk with my hands a lot. That I really enjoy, and I think it's really satisfying. And tomatoes have a lot of umami, which makes tomato sauce really satisfying. But I think that even though there aren't any tomatoes in this recipe, the red pepper pasta is really satisfying in and of itself. But hey, if you're not a fan, good news for you, I actually just posted a blog post on my blog with 18 different pasta recipes. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna find something there for you. And also, if you're just a fan of noodles and pasta in general, you can probably find a noodle dish to eat for every occasion. Maybe even breakfast, who knows? But that will be linked below, as well as the recipe for this. And I have a ton of other recipes here on YouTube too that include pasta. So if you're more of a visual person and want to see it that way, go ahead and search my channel. And also, if you're new here, feel free to give me a thumbs up and a comment for any future video suggestions, and to, of course, subscribe to my channel using the little button right down there. I post 2 new videos every single week. So other than that, I have nothing else to say. So I hope you guys are having an awesome day. I hope you continue to have an awesome day, and I look forward to virtually seeing you in the next video. Bye.